I quit my full-time teaching job to run my business, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything that happened. So I'm going to tell you the great things, the not so great things, as well as the lessons that I learned along the way. My hope is that this video will be inspiring for someone, and perhaps it will be something that can help you to make that decision, whether to venture out or to kind of stay put for a little while longer. So let's go. Hey, if you're new here, and hey, if you're just coming back, my name is Shanice, and my purpose is to help online moneymakers, one, maximize their presence, and two, increase their sales. And my goal for this video is to share my story, and I hope that it would be at least a little bit inspiring for someone. So, regardless of if you choose to quit your job or continue working, I hope that you can find value in what I have to say today. 2 months ago, I made the decision to quit my full time teaching job. And honestly, it was a weird exit. So I initially gave my 2 weeks and I ended up having to leave before my 2 weeks because they ended up docking my check like a whole $500. And I really was not happy about that. And so I did leave earlier than the 2 weeks that I initially planned on. And that actually tossed me in there head first because my plan was to take the 2 weeks and really figure things out. I wanted to take that time to get clarity on my offer because my business was actually in a transition period. And we're going to talk a bit more about that. But I really wanted to spend that 2 weeks kind of preparing to leave, getting things together. But since I left sooner than planned, it kind of tossed things around a bit. And if you do want to hear more about my teaching story, kind of how I got started and ended up quitting, then I'm going to link that video for you and also drop it in the description. So, when I made the decision to quit my teaching job, it was about putting myself first, and it was also about chasing my passion. So, I have a passion for business. I absolutely love talking about business. And so, I really wanted to tap into that passion. And I had also just gotten my MBA. So, my initial plan was to tap into my passion by one, running my business, but also finding a job in business. And it was also about stepping out on faith and truly trusting God and being obedient to what I felt He was calling me to do. So, let's go ahead and hop into some of the great things that has happened since quitting my teaching job. I'm gonna have a great Friday. I'm gonna have a great Friday. I'm gonna have a great Friday. Anyways, yes, I made it to work, and later on today, when I get home, I am going to be finishing my ebook. It's gonna be called More Than a Vendor List. So I'm gonna finish that tonight and hopefully drop it tomorrow. I guess the first thing I can share is that I've been happier and lighter than ever before. So before I was in a teaching job, and as you know, teaching is stressful. You get a lot of questions asked throughout the day. It's a lot of decision making. It's very much on your feet, but at the same time, chill. Teaching is one of those weird professions where you feel like you're doing a lot, right? So you feel like you're in a high need career, but at the same time, you have these moments throughout the day where you're not doing anything or you're not feeling as productive as you could feel. And I don't really operate well in those types of situations. I'm a person who likes to just like work when I'm at work and then leave work when I'm not at work. And so my job was a little bit stressful when I had those downtimes, but it was also stressful because it was so high need. And I always had kids calling me, kids were always fighting, kids were always kind of being rude to each other. So since being away from that, I've just felt so happy. Like my brain isn't just clouded by all the nonsense that you get when you're in education. I feel lighter, I feel more creative, I feel more purposeful. And honestly, that is a great feeling because when I quit my teaching job, I was actually experiencing some health issues. So just being able to feel lighter and better and freer has just been the most amazing thing in my entire life. The second really great thing is that I have actually doubled my income since quitting my job. In January, I had started thinking about actually like quitting my job. And so I started to open up a bit more time on my calendar. So I would open like a little bit of evenings and things like that just to kind of make it where I can start taking more coaching calls. And so in January, I made a decent amount of money working both jobs. So working my full time job and running this new business that I was trying to launch. But in February, when I had the full time to run my business, I was able to create more digital products. I was able to promote my products a bit more. I had more time on my calendar to take calls. I actually saw that I doubled my income from January. So this was really inspiring for me because it shows that I was putting in a lot of work, but I was also seeing the fruits of that labor. And so that is something that actually motivated me to go full time in my business as opposed to my initial plan, which was to find another job. So since leaving my teaching career, I have not seriously looked for a job. And it's really because, as I said, I was able to double that income. So that kind of gave me like, hey, if you keep doing these things, then you're going to keep climbing in terms of your earning potential. And so that's kind of why I haven't really looked for a job. But then as we get into the not so great things, I'm going to let you know more about that. Something else that has been really amazing is that I can see God moving in my life more than ever. It feels like when you're obedient, good things happen. When you're obedient, things start to fall into place. When you are obedient, doors open without you even knocking. That is literally what I've been feeling this whole time. So last year, I had a huge year in my stationery and self publishing business, but it was also a hard year because after I earned like the most money I had ever made in my business, I actually lost access to the stream of income that made me that money. Since quitting my full time job, I've actually regained that stream of income. So to me, that is God showing up, right? Add a bit more to this. I was publishing on Amazon KDP and they terminated my account. Since quitting my job, Amazon has since reinstated my KDP account, and I cannot help but say that this is God. I don't believe that there are any coincidences with God. I feel like God is very intentional, and I feel like God always finds a way to use things for our good, even if we don't see it in the moment. And so, honestly, getting that KDP account back was me just feeling like, wow, God is saying you were obedient in this season, and I'm going to reward you for your obedience. That's honestly how I look at it because God gets the glory. And if you want to hear more about that story, I do have a video on that. And again, I'm going to link it and put it in the description. And I guess the last good thing, which kind of ties everything together, is that I really do feel like I'm on the right path. And it's a really amazing feeling. And I honestly wish this feeling for everyone. Like, I wish all of us would just have this feeling that we're on the right path. It just feels so good. And this is not to say that challenges won't come. This is not to say that maybe 2 months from now you don't feel like you're on the right path. But it's really good to have a time in your life where you actually do feel like you're on the right path. And so that pretty much sums everything up. And we're going to go ahead and move into the not so great things. So, the first not so great thing is actually the reason why I was able to increase and pretty much double my income from January to February. And that is the fact that I spend a lot of time working. It really does feel like I traded my 9 to 5 for a 24 hours because I spend a lot of time working. So, one of the big things that takes up my time is YouTube. I've been putting out 3 videos each week since quitting my job, and it is the craziest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Okay, maybe not the craziest, but it's pretty close. So I am a one-person team. It's just me. I have not contracted out to anyone. So I make my own thumbnails, I draft my own scripts, I find my own topics, I edit my own videos. So it is literally just me. And I've been pumping out 3 videos a week. And that is a huge task because I'm not great at editing. And so it takes me a longer time to edit my videos. I also haven't invested in any editing software, so I've just been using iMovie, and that, takes some time and it's not as great as if I was using Photoshop, or I don't even know what people use to edit anymore, CapCut, I don't know. But using iMovie has been a task. And I'm going to add on this great thing that I didn't add on earlier, and it's that this is my training ground. And this is something that I talk about in the ebook I just released. It's called From Passion to Profits. And it really walks you through a step by step process of moving from being a hobbyist to a person who's earning income doing something that they love. And so this is my training ground. So although I'm not great at editing and I'm not great at thumbnails, what I have been realizing is that I've been learning so much, right? I've been growing as a creator. I've been developing and getting better with each video that I make. And I can see that because my click through rates have been increasing with each video that I make. My watch time has been increasing with each video that I make. The money that I'm earning on YouTube has been increasing month after month. So all the things that I've been doing are working, which is great, but I'm spending a lot of time working. So yeah, just wanted to kind of put that in there. So yes, you may see increases in profit, but the increases in profit is going to come from the fact that you are also increasing the amount of work that you are putting in. The next not so great thing that I've been learning is that your business is only as good as your offer. And so, as I said earlier in this video, I thought I would have had 2 weeks to really figure out my offer. My business was in a transition period. So last year, I made most of my money from product sales, right? So I had a stationery business. Most of my income came from selling my stationery products and also selling my journals. This year, I'm kind of moving into a new lane and I'm moving into mostly digital products as well as a service, which is my consulting or coaching calls. And so my business is literally in a transition period. It's like I'm moving out of the product based industry and I'm moving into a service based industry. And so, with that, I really needed to clarify my offer. And this is something else that I talk about in the ebook that I just released, From Passion to Profits. And I really give you some steps to take if you also need to clarify your offer. So these are the steps that I took as I looked to clarify my offer, because what I really realized was that people aren't going to purchase from you or tap into what you're offering if you are not sure about what you're offering. So you really do need to have a need that needs to be met, and you need to also know how your service meets that need. And you need to connect those things, and that's where you are going to have customers who are willing to tap into what you have to offer. And so if you are looking to clarify your offer, if you want to step out on business, but you're not even sure like what you're going to sell or what you're going to do as it concerns entrepreneurship, then I do encourage you to go ahead and grab a copy of my ebook. I literally feel like God just downloaded that information. Like I sat down and I poured out about 9 hours just working on that ebook. I read it after writing it. And I don't know if you've ever read a book you've written, but I honestly feel like it's a really good body of work that later on I can develop it into a much bigger book. But for now, it's about 25 pages of just awesome information. So if you're interested in moving again from passion to profits, then I encourage you to go ahead and check out my ebook. The next not so great thing is that the stress won't necessarily leave or the anxiety won't necessarily go away. It'll just take a new form. So, when I was at my teaching job, as I said, it was high stress, right? So, I was very stressed about just being at work, being around the kids, just what's going to happen today. Sometimes we would have reports of like, oh, there was a shooting at this school, or oh, there was a threat made at this school. And I would always feel that anxiety. The students would always feel that anxiety. Parents would always feel that anxiety. Like parents would come and like pick up their kids because there was a report that something was going to happen on campus. And a lot of times nothing happened, but just the reports and just hearing stories from other states just made it feel like such an anxiety reading job. And then on top of that, we had these drills. So you would have your code red drill, your fire drill, and all of these things would just create anxiety and chaos. So that was really stressful and that was a lot of anxiety. And then classroom management was a whole lot of anxiety. And I thought that after leaving teaching, all of that would go away, right? And it did. All of the anxiety tied to teaching went away. But now I developed anxiety tied to my business and my finances. And is this working? Is this video good? I only got 100 views on this video. What can I do? What am I doing wrong? So it's like you still develop anxiety for the things that you are currently doing. And a lot of times it can still feel like you're stressed out, even though you have all this time, even though you're doing what you love, even though you're chasing your passion. And so that is something that I've been having to deal with. I've been having to pray more and try to tap into the word more. And right now, I'm taking a TikTok break because I want to use a week to really just focus on God and His Word and really just kind of meditate on the good things that have been happening in my life. And so I kind of just want to take a week off of social media to focus on creating and less on consuming. And that is something that if you do quit your job, you're going to realize is a trap that you could fall into. You could fall into the comparison trap. You could fall into the constant scrolling trap, right? Because now you have a little bit more time. You don't really have set tasks that you need to complete each day. You're in control of your time and you can kind of say, oh, I'm going to do this and then do this later. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to develop that unhealthy relationship with my time management. And so I've decided that I'm going to take a week off of social media and just really focus on creating and being present and enjoying, this time that I have been able to take. All right, so let's quickly hop into the lessons. The first lesson is that your hard work will pay off. So even if you do trade in your 9 to 5 for 24 hours, it will pay off. And the payoff may not be immediate. For instance, something like YouTube. Yes, I may work hard on a video and it may only get 200 views, but I know that that video is hard work that I've put in and it is going to generate income later on. So it may not be right now, but it could be 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 2 years from now. I know that that is going to pay off. And then I'm also not looking at the views in terms of how much money I'm going to make from AdSense. The payoff can also be showing myself that I can be consistent, showing myself that I can show up for me in a way that feels authentic. And so when we look at the payoffs, we don't always want to look at the monetary payoffs. We can also look at some just life skills and character building that we do get from doing the things that we love. The second lesson is that it's really important to have a clear course of action before you venture out. I feel like I spent a lot of time figuring things out. I spent a lot of time clarifying my offer. I spent a lot of time creating products because when I quit my job, I didn't really have many digital products. I had only just had the one vendor list, and I actually created that vendor list like more towards the end of January. So February was actually my full month selling this vendor list, and it has been really successful. Don't get me wrong. And thank you to everyone who has purchased that vendor list if you end up watching this video. So I would say if you're going to venture out to start a business, try to see if you can start that business while you have your 9 to 5. I know that's what a lot of people do. So you have this business, it gets to this point, and then you leave to your 9 to 5. And that's honestly the best way to do it. And for me, I would have felt like this if I had quit my job last year, but I didn't quit my job last year. Last year, I kept working and I saved up my money and I quit my job this year when I am like restarting my business. So if you have a clear offer and a clear product before you leave your job, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. For me, I've been really spending a lot of time creating. I've been spending a lot of time in idea generation. And honestly, it feels like a very stressful time when you're trying to come up with the next product. You're trying to come up with the next service. You're trying to find the thing that is going to captivate people and get them to purchase. So that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of mental clarity to be able to come up with a great product idea. And I know I've done it in the past, so I know that I can do it again, but it's always better, in my opinion, to kind of have that before you venture out into full time entrepreneurship. The next lesson is that time management is paramount. Not because you quit your job means that you're suddenly going to fold the laundry. Like, you can very much get up, come to your computer, and work on your business all day and never fold the laundry. And so, you need to make sure that if you do decide to venture out, you have a clear time management plan. So, something that has been working for me is kind of like a different approach to time blocking. So, instead of blocking specific time to do certain tasks, I've been blocking specific days to do certain tasks. And so I take off Mondays and I take off Fridays, and I use those 2 days to kind of manage everything else that's going on in my home. And then from Tuesday to Thursday, I'm really working on the business. And when I say I take Mondays off, I actually only take off half a day on Monday because I do use Mondays as my content creation day. So Monday is the day to get things done at home and focus on content creation. And then Tuesday, I have a video being uploaded and I'm going live. So I'm really working in my business. And then Wednesday, I'm trying to prepare for the videos that are going to go out on Thursday and Saturday. So really just taking days and deciding what you want to do on each day, I think is an approach that has worked for me and could possibly work for you. But of course, there is always just like blocking time throughout your day to do certain things. Something else that has been working for me is a little system that I've developed, and I'm actually just calling this my 555 system. So basically, I'm doing three things for 5 minutes, right? So I spend 5 minutes cleaning the kitchen or 5 minutes cleaning the washroom. And so each day I take a 5 minute break 3 times throughout the day, and I spend 5 minutes doing something in my home. And I just started this and I feel like it's working, but I do have those days when I don't take my 5 minutes. And then at the end of the day, I'm reflecting like, hey, you didn't do this today because you didn't take your 5 minutes. And so it's just a way to make sure that I'm putting breaks throughout my day because, as I said, you can literally just sit down and spend 9 to 10 hours working and not even do anything else. At least if you're the type of person that I am, because that's the type of person that I am. I work. I work. That's me. I work. And the last lesson is that it gets easier. It really does. So, although I spent the last 2 months or a month and a half really creating products and clarifying my offer, moving forward, I'm not really going to have to do that, right? So, moving forward, it's going to be about marketing the two really great ebooks that I have, marketing the awesome coaching and consulting sessions that I offer. So, I'm going to spend more time on marketing over the next few months as opposed to developing products. And so that is just something that, it's going to get easier because I'm not going to spend as much time creating products. And of course, there are workarounds for this. So one workaround is to, instead of spending your time creating products, is to just pay someone to create those products on a platform like Fiverr. I have not done that because I've actually realized that creating the products is my favorite part. So I don't want to get someone to write my ebook and then I sell it. I don't want to get someone to create my journal and then I sell it. I want this to be something that I worked really hard on. So I actually enjoy the creative process and I actually enjoy putting things together. And I don't want to take out the parts of my business that I enjoy, like my sticky notes. When I created those sticky notes, I enjoyed creating those sticky notes. I love the fact that I created them. Even if I used Canva, even if I'm not an illustrator, I still put something together that people enjoyed. And so I don't want to take that away, but it's really about just like finding the elements of your business that you love to do and doing them because that's what's going to bring you joy. So I love creating. So I'm not going to take creating out of my business. Even if I'm not great at it, I don't care because I love to create. So that's just something that I will say here. If you have a part of your business that you really, really love, don't outsource it because that's going to take the passion out of the business and it's going to make it feel like a much more stressful task than it needs to be. So if you've made it here, thank you because I know that this was probably long and I'm trying to work out my storytelling. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and let me know in the comments your thoughts, but also let me know, where are you in this journey? Are you still working your 9 to 5, wanting to quit? Did you quit your job and now you're like, I need to find another job? Or did you quit your job and you're kind of like me, hey, this is the best thing ever, but I have been working hard as well? Go ahead and let me know where you are in your journey. I would love, love, love to talk with you in the comments section. And so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy other videos on my channel. So go ahead and check out this self-publishing playlist, or you can check out this playlist, which is just a collection of lives that I've been having over the past few weeks. So until next time, keep designing your dream life and business, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!